So, Jake, you topped this weekend at the Yu-Gi-Oh 500.
I did, yes. Came second. Was a pretty good result.
Yes.
Pretty happy with it.
Very well. What did you play?
So I played Chaos Thunder Dragons. So I've been playing normal Thunder Dragons for a while now. Changed it up a little bit before the event. Wasn't exactly sure how I was going to go, so pretty happy to have done so well.
Yeah, sweet. So what made you want to play the Chaos just over the...
It has a little bit more utility than the plain Thunder Dragon stuff. Because Thunder Dragons tend to brick, so being able to extend with the Chaos build can give it a little more oomph than what the normal build does.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to explain the deck list?
Yep. So we'll start off with the basics. You got 3 vanilla, 3 hawk, 3 dark, 3 raw, and 3 matrix.
Yep.
You pretty much have to play 3 of everything in the Thunder Dragons at the moment because the way the play of the deck works, you pretty much have to open an exact hand to make a good board. So playing as many of them as possible means that you're more consistently seeing those types of hands. So that's why at the moment you're playing 3. I tend to side a couple of them out going into game 2s and things like that because you more often need to see side cards than the actual Thunder Dragons. But yeah, for the starting, you play 3 of everything.
So you want to change the main?
Not with those at the moment, no.
Sweet.
Then we go into the non-Thunder Dragon stuff, so 3 Batteryman Solar. He's a very good normal summon for the deck, gets it started, pitches things to grave in order to get your Chaos Dragons and things going, which I'll explain later. Summons tokens, gets you to links, it's good. Something to note as well, it actually summons tokens if your opponent summons a Thunder monster, so if you happen to get stopped game 1 and you happen to have yours still on board and you're playing in the mirror, it does summon a token when your opponent summons, just something to keep in mind. Then we've got a few hand traps, so just 2 Ash and 2 Bell in the main. There is technically impermanences as well, but in terms of actual hand traps, just those. Couldn't really justify playing 3 of Ash because you're playing a giant Thunder King, so like a lot of your searches are turned off, so realistically, if all goes well, you don't need that too often. This is very good in a few matchups, mainly Sky Striker and the Mirror. Just shuts off a lot of plays. Just 2 in the main. Then we've got 2 of the White Chaos Dragon and 1 of the Dark. I may change the ratios of that, maybe 2-2. At the moment, I'm just not seeing them enough. I need to see them more.
Yep.
And that's probably why I didn't do as well towards the end, because I just never saw them as much as I should. But yeah, for those that don't know, obviously banish dark to summon the light, banish light to summon the dark. You more often than not want to see that. That's why there's more of that than that. And you play that just so that you have a chain blocker when you use it to link summon and things.
So you wouldn't play 3 of this one?
Not at the moment, but I'll have to do some more playtesting coming up to YCS to see what kind of ratios I'm going to play, because a fair bit of this will probably change. And then a few one-offs. You've got Denko, obviously wins the game against Sky Striker and Altergeist to a point. BLS, I don't think I actually summoned that. I stole a lot of them over the weekend because other players just didn't open well and summoned that just as like a big beat stick, and I just stole it. So that was always fun. Dragon Duo, searchable version of him, banishes stuff from grave to get effects. And then Amber, which is for the next card, which is 3 Brilliant Fusion.
Yep.
Very good way to start the deck. Again, pitches stuff to grave to get your effects going. Summons a Thunder Fusion, which you can make into Colossus by banishing 1 from hand, gets plays going. And it's a good bait out for Ash as well if you've got other things going, because like if you don't stop that, it does allow the Thunder deck to get started quite a bit. Then you've got 3 Goldstark. This is one of the cards that I tend to side out at least 1 copy if I'm going into like games 2 and 3, because if you open too many of them, it does become a brick. There's only so many times that like you can banish a Thunder Dragon to get the effects. There's only 2 really that have good banish effects, which are Dark and Raw. The other 2 not so much. And if you've opened up well enough, like you might use 1, but you definitely won't use 2 if you've opened well enough. So I might drop that to 2, or I might keep it at 3 just as a quick side out card for one of them. But yeah, obviously it has its place in the deck, just maybe not as many. Then you've got 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions. That may go up, chiefly because I am playing Desires in this deck as well. So what I found over the weekend is I was banishing a couple of copies of this every couple of games, and it does make it a lot harder to play when you haven't got that utility that you do with Thunder Dragon Fusion. So that may go to 3, and then Goldshark may go to 2. 2 instant fusions, again, summons the Kaminari attack and whatnot from the extra, so that gets you a fair bit towards what you want to do. And then in certain cases you can summon the Thousand Eyes to out problems as well and get rid of that. 2 Desires, as I said. The reason I was playing those is because the deck has very little draw power, and if you don't see the right cards you need something to get you going, because yeah, you just brick otherwise. And then the last of the hand traps, 3 impermanents, just it's sort of needed in the current game. Like, you could play Effect Veiler, but then against like decks like Rongo and stuff like that, yeah, if you can afford them, get them, great. If you can't, then like there's not much you can do really.
Don't be poor. TNC Fuse no, don't be poor.
That's my personal life motto really. And then we go on to the extra. The extra is not going to be all that surprising, but you've got 3 Colossus, 3 Titan.
Crazy.
You need to play 3 of each, because getting towards the end of games as well, if you don't have all 3 to be able to use Thunder Dragon Fusion for, you do get stuck. So yeah, 3 of is a necessary one. Everything else is actually a one-of. So you've got Kaminari attack, obviously for the instant fusion. You've got Prismora for the brilliant fusion, and then you've got Thousand Eyes restrict again for the instant fusion. You've got Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh can get rid of Thousand Eyes so that you don't have it stuck in the EMZ, and then can also get rid of Thunder Matrix in order to trigger his effect and get things going there. You've got Summoner, which is obviously gets you 2 monsters down there, and then at the end you usually link contact him into Colossus again. Lampharinkus, it's basically if you get stuck and you can't, like you don't want to summon just 1 extra deck monster, you give yourself 2 zones and then potentially summon the 2. Gives yourself just a bit more room to play. Then you've got Unicorn, out problems, gives you a zone to summon 2. Borreload, 100% necessary in the mirror, because once you summon Borreload in the mirror, you just out problems. And then like you use their fusions to go into your fusions, very good. A card I never actually summoned over the weekend, so tossing up whether I'll still play it or not, is Saryuja. The idea with this is like you summon things off Brilliant and the Battery Man, then link those chain blocks so that you get the draws, summon and stuff like that. Never saw it happen, so at the moment I can't say how good or bad it is, but at the same time, like, there's not a lot that I'd replace him with in here at the moment with the current build.
No Boral Sword? Just a minute.
Not really, because the deck puts out enough damage as it is. It doesn't really need Boral Sword in order to do like 2 Colossus and a Titan is usually game on field, so you don't really need another one, particularly when it costs as much with this deck, because you're not summoning a huge amount of monsters to make link plays with generally. So I can't really justify playing a lot of big link 4s.
Yeah.
Like Boral Sword's the main one because it does get you somewhere in the mirror. But Boral Sword in the mirror is dreadful because if attacking into a Colossus, for instance,
it's useless,
you can't out it, and then you're banishing stuff in their graveyard and they get effects from it, so it's just not good enough.
Yeah, too easy.
So yeah, can't justify that at the moment, but that may or may not change once the build progresses.
Do you want to show off your side, or do you want to keep that secret?
No, the side's pretty much going to be like stock standard for this, I think, and it probably will change. So we've got 3 evenly matched, obviously out big boards if you're going second. Mind Control and Book of Eclipse, they're mainly for the mirrors, steal their stuff, link them away, fusion them away, put them face down, continue with game. That's pretty much that. 3 red reboot, that's for your Altergeist, because that's always fun.
Do you find your OTK when you use Druid Reboot?
I don't find it OTK, but I do find that like they just can't get going, particularly when the deck does have Denko in it as well. For instance, in the second last round that I played, I was versing an Altergeist, a guy from our local, actually, Lewis. I went to summon Denko, he went to Solemn Warning it, I red rebooted. So like that, like
The poor
it was
man.
it was just an incredibly lucky hand for me and ludicrously unfortunate for him, because he pretty much needed to get Metal Gear C.
I'd be so salty.
Oh, and 100%. Like I don't blame him at all if he was. Like you'd be fuming. So yeah, that's
fair.
yeah. I suppose the other thing with this too is that like if you do Red Reboot and you're able to get into a Titan and use a few Thunder Dragon effects, you can
Yeah,
get rid of the
start
traps that
popping.
they've set.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. A third Ghost Bell for the mirror because it's deadly in the mirror. Second Denko for decks like Sky Striker, Altergeist.
It hurts.
And then Imperial Order against a lot of spell heavy decks, particularly Sky Striker. I don't remember seeing it over the weekend, but in saying that, I didn't verse any Sky Striker, so I probably maybe sided in once.
Didn't verse any Sky Striker.
No.
I'm salty.
So yeah, that's the deck as it is at the moment, but leading up to YCS, different testing and things will change, and the deck will change itself as well. So
Sweetie.
hopefully, if and when I top YCS, I'll bring in another one.
Alright, and until then, we'll click the bell.
Yes.
Click the bell.